Hey, I'm Melanie Traylor. It has been a year since my last studio tour. A few things have changed, so I thought I'd give you a brand new 2025 studio tour. And just a little reminder that my space is not just my personal sewing, quilting place. It is also the fabric shop. So it looks a little bit more than your average sewing room. Let's get going. All right, so here it is when you first walk down the stairs. This is the basement of my home. And the first thing that you're gonna see is this brand new table we just got put together from Arrow Sewing. So this is where we cut all fabric orders. And this is also where I pack all of your orders. So this piece of furniture here is called the Kookaburra. Again, it's from Arrow. And it has those shelves on the other side, but on this side it has drawers, which is amazing. I don't have them all filled yet because, again, brand new piece. And just to give you an idea, this table is absolutely huge. The cutting mat it holds is a 36 by 66. Absolutely love how the cutting mat fits the table perfectly. I don't know how I could ever have a different cutting mat now because it just lines up too great. All right, so next area, this is where I sew at. This piece of furniture is also from Arrow. It is the Aussie 2. This is a piece that I actually bought. And this is how my relationship with Arrow actually got started, was by me buying this piece. I've been quilting on it for about 3-ish years now. And what you're seeing here is my quilt that I'm working on, Carolina Mingle. We have a class going on for that. But this is a very large piece of furniture as well. My favorite thing about it is the flat surface. So if you've ever quilted on a flat surface versus your sewing machine sitting on it, there is a difference of ease when using that flat surface. So can't understate that enough. So just a little bit more about the cabinet. It has a lot of storage room. I cannot unfold that piece with my sewing machine out, but all these other pieces I can unfold. I can put this back part down if I wanted to, and then this door opens up. This piece folds back, so I can extend the length of my table that way. And I can also open this up and have extra space here. The only time I actually ever open this up is when I am sewing large pieces or units together. I've actually opened it up a little bit during the Carolina Mingle quilt because there was such large pieces and I needed to let them stay. I also open it up when I'm binding so that the quilt can drape over this table. You know, the quilts are so big, so it's easier for me to bring this thing out. And then there's some drawer space. Like that, and cubby holes, just like a lot of cubby holes, and some shelving there. I also have the sewing chair that goes with it. I think that one's called Princess Hazel. It has some storage in here, but I don't think I have anything in it at the moment. Sometimes I put the quilt I'm working on scraps in here so that, I don't get rid of them before I'm done with the quilt. And here's my computer area, printer area. All that's a little bit messy stuff, even though I've cleaned up. This is the first time in a long time the whole room, the whole space has been very, very clean. Normally it's just kind of tidy. It's not super clean, but today it is. All right, so this is like my little chase lounge area, and I've got just some quilts that these two top quilts need binding, and this quilt I just finally got wide back in for it, so I put it here to remind myself that I need to get it cut. So this is Tangle Quilt in the Petal Passion fabrics. This is Checky Quilt in Made of Magic fabrics. And this bottom here is Dandy Quilt, and it's just a super scrappy version. All three of these quilts we did quilt-alongs for last year, so they're still in the area of getting things done. Shelving. And then here's the space from this angle. So again, these are fabrics from the shop, bundles from the shop. This is my books. Let me walk over there and show you all of that. All right, so we have our journals. I've got the journal in 2 different colors. And then my very first book, A Life with Quilts. And then my second book, which was the bestseller for 2024 of everything in our shop, so stash work. All right, let's go in here. All right, so this piece of furniture is called the Dingo. It is also from Arrow Sewing, and I use half of it as my cutting station and the other half as my pressing station. I'll show you my pressing station first since it gets the most questions. Here is what this looks like down here. I don't know why this is pulled out, but I like these furniture pieces because they just do a really good job of hiding some of the more the parts of quilting that is kind of hard to find nice places for and make look nice. So these furnitures are really, really great for that. Plus, it's all really handy for me just to grab as I need it, right? All right, so up here, I use the wool mat, a vinyl tablecloth underneath it to protect my table. I think I've got that actually taped right there. But that protects the table so the wool mat doesn't damage it, because if you put a wool mat on a surface, it will damage the surface underneath if you don't use some kind of protector. And this is just an old vinyl tablecloth, so it's vinyl on one side and flannel on the other, and it's done a great job of helping me keep the table safe. Somebody on YouTube actually recommended that, so it was just a really, really great find for me, or great piece of advice for me. I'm sewing on the Reliable Maven, and I love this iron because it holds the water for the steam inside the base and not the iron. So I've tried a lot of irons, and this is the first time I can say that I love one. The rest of them, I think I like them, and then they start leaking, and then I hate them. This little cart just kind of holds it and some of my other things that I use a lot at the pressing station. This is just large ruler storage, rotating cutting mat, things like that, stripology ruler, just things that are hard to, again, store. And then on this side is where I usually cut. I'm using this mat by Creative Grid. I like this mat because I love their rulers, and it lines up really nicely when you use both together. So I can get the glare. Everything just kind of lines up perfectly. So that's one of the reasons I got this mat, was because I was trying to get all of my rulers that I use in this brand by Creative Grid. Okay, in here, all right, so I've got lots of storage down here. This is where I just keep some of my smaller rulers, rotary cutters, things like that. And then I've got handcraft stuff and a couple of extra things, my fabric markers and things like that. And then fabric. And then on this side, this is actually all of my personal stash. So this side of this cabinet is my personal stash. A lot of this came from my grandmother, and I can't bear to let it go, but I don't use this kind of thing a lot. She done a lot of crochet and dressmaking and things like that, which is not something that I have done a lot of, but most of the stuff came from her sewing machine after she passed away. All right, this side of the cabinet is for the shop. So this is stuff that we sell. So we have 65 colors of DMC thread. This is where I keep them, and I also keep them here. So if you are in need of some DMC thread, I have got you covered. All right, and this one has all of the other threads that we sell in the shop, plus batting together tape. So I love batting together tape. I actually just had a sewing mistake that couldn't be corrected with sewing 2 pieces together, so I ended up using this tape. Fingers crossed it comes out okay. But this is my shop selection of Poly-Lite, which is what I like to use for quilting most of the time. And then I've got some So Fine, which is what I use for piecing. I've got some micro quilter. I have multi-uses for micro quilter. Some Bottom Line, which is what I use for EPP. And then this over here is Kimono Silk, which again, I usually only use for quilting. But we have all of this if you need more thread in your life. All right, and then this bottom drawer holds my scrap select collection. And I usually empty this every so often because I sell all of our scraps. So obviously I need to put more scraps in the shop. All right, and that is the whole cabinet. All right, and this is my design wall. This one's personal use, and right now I'm working on Carolina Mingle quilt. I have a class currently happening for that. I get a lot of questions about the design wall. So I made this myself, and I used cotton batting, and the hard part of this is foam core board. I had to tape a bunch of foam core board together, and then I wrapped the batting around it, taped the batting snug, and then I picked it up and nailed it in here with just basic nails. You can kind of see it better here, how thick it is, and it just looks really nice and tidy. I used to just have the batting on the wall, but that just kind of looked a little bit messy, but I did live with it for a long time just like that. But this kind of just works out really nice. Plus, I always spray based my quilts, and I'm able to do it on this wall. So it's kind of like a dedicated space, and the batting kind of helps the quilt hang better. So it's just like a all around win. So that's the design wall. All right, over here, this is notions and things that we have for the shop. So these are all items that are over at Meander and Make for any of your quilting needs. We really have just so much going on in the shop as far as notions go. And fabric shelf is in this little cubby hole area. And then turning around, fabric here, fabric everywhere. This is our solids. And then this up here is just some of that Sunset Serenade. This is a little bit of cinnamon tea that's left over. We still have Clover in stock. Petal Passion just came in stock. Here is bundles that we have in the shop for sale. There's also some kits. So all that, quilty goodness, and then just more bolts of fabrics. I just cleaned this shelf off, so we haven't put anything there yet. All right. Oh, just in case you're wondering about that bar, that is what I use for filming purposes. All right, turning around. And we will walk this way. All right, so Wade likes to watch television while he cuts your orders, so that's what the TV's for. We had a very big Black Friday sale, so we're very skimpy on bundles right now. But the dresser holds my personal fabric stash as well. So everything in there is my stash. This goes out to the bathroom, this goes out to our garage, and this is a secondary design wall if I'm ever, when I'm working on 2 quilts at once. All right. And then here is what I always call the long arm room, or sometimes I call it Gage's room because this is my son's childhood bedroom. So just a few quilts that I have that I'm not letting the family use quite yet. Most of the time, these are my newer quilts. I do have lots and lots of quilts upstairs that I do let everybody use and love on. Okay, this is a Bernina sit-down long arm. Give you a look at that. I'm still working on Fenby quilt, and if you have been watching some of my free motion videos from it, yeah, it's really taking me this long because I'm stopping and starting for weeks on end. So that's what's on the long arm right now. And just in case you're unfamiliar with the concept of a sit-down long arm, this is, you know, freehand. It doesn't have any, the machine is absolutely amazing, but it doesn't have any like, you know, machine controlled quilting. This is all just, you know, my own hand. But this is the Bernina Q20. I don't know if I said that yet. Bernina Q20. This is the table that it came with. This little area, this is actually my grandmother's sewing machine. I was so grateful to get that piece. And this is my little area where I keep my personal threads that, you know, are for free motion and things like that. I use this bowl as my trash can, so quilty mess. And then her sewing machine is pretty nice. It's a Singer, and it kind of, this right here folds back, and the machine goes like that. So you would have to lift it up, and then there's a piece in here that holds it upright. So it's pretty nice. This also comes out, and there's a deep well in here. So it's not like you could leave this out. This is just kind of like for storage, this side anyway. And then that's not really a drawer, but here's a drawer. And this is all of my tools, or some of my tools. Well, it does hold all of my tools for the Bernina, but it also has some of my grandmother's things that I couldn't get rid of. So this is her collection of bobbins. Inside there is her collection of just different kinds of sewing tools. I wanted to keep everything, but a lot of the stuff that I just don't end up using. This right here is my collection of free motion rulers, or straight line, or, you know, rulers for free motion quilting. And all of these tools came with the machine. I can't say that I've used a lot of them, but I'm not quite sure what they all do. They all do something, but I don't know why there's so many of them. All right. All right, here is brand new fabric collections. I've got these laid out here because I'm about to start making something with them. This is Jelly Bean Meadow, and this is Tiny Terrazzo, which is having a moment right now. I am absolutely in love with that. This is an extra Juki. So I'm not sure that I mentioned the Juki in there, but I'll go back to it. But I have an entire video on this machine, and this is my backup Juki. Anytime it needs cleaning or something goes wrong, I have to take it all the way to Atlanta because we live in a really small town. So I have to take it all the way to Atlanta, and then I'm left without a machine for a month or so. So that's why I have the second machine. I will go back to my main sewing area and show you the other one. But this is all of my quilt patterns in these cubbies, and also in these cubbies, all quilt patterns and things like that. This is more fabric for the shop, and then this area and this area, that is when people order pre-orders with their regular fabric, and we have to sit it up here until the pre-orders come in and we can ship their order. So that is what that is, and we leave this whole space clear. We just had Petal Passion come in, so it's pretty clear right now. And that is just bundle overstock. All right, so this is my batting scraps. I showed you that batting together tape in the other smaller bedroom. And I keep the scraps here so that anytime I need a large piece for like a baby quilt or a pillow or a runner or something like that, I can tape the scraps together instead of cutting a piece off of my batting roll for the project. And let me just show you, just in case you don't buy batting by the roll. And don't judge me for this closet, please. But we buy batting, you know, on the roll, and we have it for sale in the shop, but most of the time I use it for my own quilts. Batting is not the biggest seller in the shop. All right, back in here. All right, and again, I have a whole video on the Juki. But I did want to show you a few things that I've done to this machine because I get more questions about the Juki than anything else in my sewing room. And yeah, I highly recommend this machine. As you can see, I have 2 of them. And it would be what I would call a midline machine. I am very anti-computerized machines when it comes to piecing anyway. So this one has no computer in it, and it is just a dream. Everything is super lightning fast. Your thread is cut super quick. Your needle goes down super quick. I mean, everything is just like, you know, on the spot. The main thing I like is that foot pedal. It has a cutter on the foot pedal. I click backwards on my heel and the thread gets cut. So that is super duper handy. I also really like that knee lift. I know a lot of people don't use them, but for me it's just, you know, it works. All right, so a couple questions that I always get. Again, I have a whole video about all of this. I use the 2 spools of thread, or the 2 cones of thread, I'm sorry. One of them is for the top thread, and the other one is for the bobbin, and that way I never have to unthread my machine. Whenever I have to fill a bobbin up, I just use this one, and no threads have to move. So it saves some time. You know if you're constantly filling up bobbins, how much time that saves. These are the Dura snips. The only thing I use these snips for is chain piecing. I've got a command hook holding them here. I don't know why, but I get a lot of questions about these flowers. They're just stickers. They're basic stickers, and I just stuck them to the machine. There's nothing special about them. The lamp. So I do get a lot of questions about this too. And here's what it looks like. It's just a wired lamp, and then when you put it on, it looks like that. Everything that I'm showing you today, I'm linking to in the, I'm linking right below this video. And then a recent add-on, just this little laser thing. Let me turn it on for you. All right. All right, so this is very, very new, and what it does is lines up for your, instead of drawing lines or instead of using tape, because I am a very, very big tape user so that I don't have to draw lines. But now I don't even have to put tape down here because I have this laser. So it's pretty nifty. I really, really like it. And you know, you can easily move it around, whether you're gonna be sewing from corner to corner on the diagonal for like snowball corners, or if you need to move it over a little bit for your 1/4 inch from the diagonal line. So super duper handy. Great. So that wraps up this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, all the links for all the products are right below this video. Let me know if you have questions, or let me know what you thought. Thanks for joining me.